Hi, you guys. So we have a special episode today. I mean, all the episodes are special,
Right.
but Shay is going to tell us what we doing today. What we talking about today, girl?
We are talking about Devil Wears Prada
Ooh.
Part 2 because
We seen the movie.
You know, Mo and I had to go see number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we were going to have to do a follow-up.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited about this one, too. So I'm going to start it off. So how did you feel about Devil's Wears Prada? Like, what was your favorite parts?
Ooh. I loved it. Let's just say that. And I was skeptical in the beginning. Not that I was never not going to go watch it. When you wait for so long, sometimes movies don't need a sequel, I feel like. Sometimes I just feel like the first one is it. It's enough. And so I was very curious on how they were going to be 20 years later and still have us engaged and still have us walking away in awe. And they did that. They did that. I would say my favorite part, I really enjoy Miranda's character because it keeps me guessing.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps me guessing. And this one kept me guessing because I wasn't sure. I'm like, what she's going to do. What's her thought process based off of 20 years ago? She's still Miranda. If you haven't watched it, we may have some spoilers in here, just warning you. Okay. And of course the fashions. I think that the fashions were top tier and brought it into the now, but also there were still references to 20 years ago. That's like, these are still the characters, you know? And, so overall, I think Devil Wears Prada did a great job, and I resonated with each character differently in the growth in the phase that they were in from 20 years ago to now. And that's what I loved about it, is that I was able this time to really just connect with every single character on a different level.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I agree.
So, I'm going to throw it back to you because we got to hear your opinion.
I loved it. One of my favorite parts was when they were in Milano. And she was looking at the Last Supper. And reason why I love that part because it reminds me of my mom. And a lot of Black people can relate to this. The Last Supper was everything to Black people. And you usually 9 out of 10, you're going to see it on the wall in the kitchen. And my mom had that, so it just made me remember her. But it also put me in a place of you are where you're supposed to be in fashion, and it just gave me like a sign that I need to keep going in my career. So it just reminded me of my mom, and that was my favorite part of the movie. But the overall movie was awesome to me. I felt that they definitely story told in a way where it made you think. The fashion was amazing, and I think a lot of people really didn't understand how they did like 360s of each look. That was something I noticed a lot in the movie. But the movie overall, I think for me, it was a 10 out of 10. I loved the movie. I love that they traveled. I love that they brought Miranda like back down to earth. And sometimes we have to, get brung back down to understand, you could be at the highest level, but anything can happen where you can get bumped down. And I would say Papio, but always remain humble. Absolutely. When it comes to other people's feelings and who they are. And I feel like she blossomed into a beautiful person in the movie, and it made me happy for her. Like, sometimes we have to understand people. Sometimes people have this rough exterior, but we got to sometimes get to know the inner, the core of them. So that's what I loved about the movie. Yeah. Okay. Next question. What was your favorite outfit?
Oh, this is a hard one because I had really two that really, 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 really that I loved. But I'm going to go ahead and say like my first one was the Dior outfit that Emily had on.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was so like a mixture of 90s and the now. And it was the first time to me that I really saw with labels, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. And I was like, I want that. I want to like recreate that look. That was one of my favorites. And then Andy had on one. And you and I talked about it before. Mm-hmm. And that was the one. Now I'm blanking on it. Where were they? It was dinner. And it was the black. I'm blanking on this one. I'm so blanking on this one. We're just going to leave it at the Dior one.
Okay.
We're going to leave it at the Dior one. Because that was the one that stood out to me. They all were great. But we're going to leave it at the Dior one.
The fashion was good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I love that look. And I'm going to recreate it. Because she had the overalls on. It was just, I'm just thinking about it.
That's a cute outfit.
It was just very cute. And I don't think it's something that 20 years ago, Emily, it made sense for. But now, and when you watch the movie, you'll get to see it in her being because she's a brand ambassador, even working for Dior, she's still the brand ambassador. Yeah, and so the way when they made that, I was like, I love that.
Yeah. So. It just put her in the now.
Yeah.
Her being in overalls as a mother of two.
Yeah.
It put her in the now. And, overalls remind me of moms. But it's just not saying just because you're a mom, you can't be fashionable. So
exactly.
Yeah.
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 Before I ask you your favorite looks, the question I do want to ask you is kind of get into a little bit about the costume designing, because Patricia Field is the one who was the lead costume designer for the first one. Mm-hmm. And Molly Rogers worked under her. Mm-hmm. But this time for number 2, Molly Rogers was the lead. Do you feel one did more justice over the other, or do you feel like it worked equally? Both of them came through. I mean, we know the fashions is great in both movies, but do you feel like one did better than the other one? Would you have preferred Patricia Field also to do number 2?
Yeah, I think Patricia should have stayed, and because she's story told the first one, but I also did love a lot of things that Molly did. I think she did tell a lot of like storytelling, and she brung fashion, because that's what it was about fashion. Like somebody had told me, I didn't really like the pieces, but I was like, did you like a piece? And she thought like, I didn't think about that. And I think with the first one, it was kind of the same thing. Did you love everything? Probably not.
Right.
But it was a piece or two that you absolutely wanted. And that's what happens when things are on the runway. You're not going to love everything. And it's also to sell to the merchandisers, the people that buyers that's coming in there to look at that runway. So that's what I kind of see like with a fashion forward movie that way, where they're selling this piece, but most of the time people are not going to connect with it because it's not their personal style. So I feel like they both did what they were supposed to do, but I also think that Patricia would have took on a different angle because she did the first one. And that's just me. Sometimes you got to stick with what you know. And I think she would have told a story completely different from the first one, and also knowing that. But it was a lot of things. I feel like Molly definitely did her research, and I enjoyed that about her.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She definitely did.
She did her research.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to talk about my favorite fashion look. I'm not gonna let you ask me. My favorite thing they did, I love that they story told from the first season or the first movie. Like they took things from the first movie and put it into the second. And I love that she wore the sweater again. That was my favorite piece of. She revamped that sweater into a vest. And it just made me so happy because my brand is called Revamp People. I've been revamping since I was a little girl. And just to see that, to know that revamping is going to be the future, because that's basically what it was saying. Like, in the future, we're going to take old things and flip it. And that's what I want for clothes. So that was my favorite fashion of the whole movie. Was the old sweater.
Yeah, and I think that it goes back to like Molly Rogers. She gave that nod to the first film because she didn't have to do that. So I think that was important as the costume designer to figure out moments to give nods to the first one that fans can relate to and say, yes, you know.
But I think also, too, to add to that, I think it made sense for her just to do it even if she was nodding or not. Because, like when we were saying in our predictions, like revamping and upcycle is going to be the future because it's so much waste. And even like when we were talking on the last episode, the African episode, how their African pieces are not they just wear once and that's it. But after a while, you're going to have all these clothes that's going to keep going and where they're going. Are you making them into comforters? Are you making them into shoes? You know, like, so just to me, I just felt like as a costume designer, it made sense, you know, because we are storytelling, but we also learning fashion history. We also learning about what's going on in the world. You know, that affects fashion a lot. So for her to take an old sweater that she kept in her closet for whatever reason and then revamping it, upcycling it, it just told a story of where we at now in fashion. Yeah. So, yeah, I just want to say that.
And it worked out, too, that is who Andy's character is.
Yeah.
Because when she gave up all her, the designer, and that's just who she is. So, yeah, it ties into so many pieces. So, I love that, yeah.
Yeah, and it made it fashion forward. It was cute in the vest.
Yes.
I liked it better in the vest.
Yes.
Okay. What was the tips, the lessons that you took from this movie? Because it was a lot of them.
Yeah.
It was a lot of them.
This is such a good question. I think the lesson is one of the biggest things that I took is that we are constantly learning about ourselves. And we, as much as we may think we've been somewhere or in the industry for 20 plus years, it's different stages of life, and we're constantly have to relearn who we are. And it goes back to when you were saying that, like, Miranda having to be humbled. And that was because she was at a stage in her life where she needed to relearn who she was. She was no longer the Miranda 20 years ago. It's a different Miranda. And so how you react and how you respond to things are very different. They had a whole lady who was almost like kind of like HR in a way of, like, Miranda would say certain words and she'd be like, you cannot say that. You mean this. Again, that was Miranda having to learn, like, ooh, who is this new Miranda? How do I grow into the now, but also stay true to who I am? And I felt that with Nigel. I felt that with Andy, that no matter what, they were dealing with how do they keep a piece of them, but grow into the next level. And so that's where I took from that you have to always constantly relearn how to know yourself and learn yourself. And that comes with the lessons. And so there's a lot of lessons in the movie.
Yeah, I love that. I have two. The first one was Miranda's new husband. And they're both kind of the same, but not. That who's meant to love you will love you.
Yes.
And they will see you. And then also, even if you go through a lot of heartbreak in relationships, it doesn't mean that you will have it. And for me, it's something like being single for a long time. I really love that because it just told me, Monique, your person will come and he will love you for you. But it's okay to stay and true to yourself in where you at. And for me, I'm single. I want to be single for a little bit, a little longer, so I can own what I'm doing. Because fashion is very demanding. So that was a good lesson for me. And then the second was you demand people to see you.
Yeah.
You don't allow people, and this is for Nigel, the part, and it made me cry. I cried in the movie, but she asked him, like, do I not see you or whatever? She asked him, and he was like, no, like he tried to like kind of brush it off, but then something told him like, stand up, like for yourself. And he had her back for all those years, and she just like blew over him, and he was the backbone of that magazine. Like without Nigel, that magazine would have never been. And sometimes you got to let people know, I am the backbone. I am this person. You need to see me and demand to be seen. And that was like one of the most powerful parts for me, because I think a lot of times people don't see you for a long time. You be so invisible in fashion until you're not. And yeah, that was a good part.
That was good.
For me. So yeah. And I was boohooing. I was like trying not to cry. But it was such a like refreshing to see him being seen in that movie after the first one. And if you connect to that movie and you love the movie like me and Shay love this movie, like you get it. Like it was just a scene that I got, and I just cried. Like I just like, because he was my favorite character in the movie. I love Andy too, but he's my favorite because he was himself. He was always himself, but he was such a caring person too. Like he told it how it is, but he was still a lover. And he reminded me of a Cancer. I feel like he was a Cancer man. But he was awesome, and I loved him. So yeah. So Shay gonna end it out, you guys, because I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah, you have to go see it. And like, if you have not, go watch it. If you have, watch it again. And, you know, we want to hear in the comments about what your thoughts are. We want you to subscribe to this channel. If you have not, we want you to hit the like button down below as well. And continue to just enjoy us in this conversations and tell us what you want to hear next. Until next time.
Thank you, guys. Woo!